Well, good morning, my beautiful coffee beans. I am Bullhorn Betty. We have quite the stories for you this morning. We are going to be discussing a case we haven't touched in a while. This is a case from 2025 that was hot and heavy. The case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Two children, 6 and 4, disappeared from their Pictou County trailer off of Garlock Road in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, Canada. And we were kind of joining the mark and the drumbeat of finding these children because it appeared they had just wandered off from home. Now we're finding out that a whole host of other stuff may have happened to them. And for the first time in 15 months, we've only heard from their mother very limitedly. We have a few minutes at the very beginning of the case. She did this post, and then just recently sat down for a legitimate interview. 15 months after her children left, she left this trailer and never returned again. And now that I hear her answering the questions, one, it didn't do her any service. Two, I believe she absolutely knows what happened to her children and where they are. And then we're going to be going from Canada all the way over to Arizona, giving our updates and our talking points on Nancy Guthrie. All of these three people still missing. We had 4 missing, but Malaya just reappeared as she tries to explain why she's been missing for so long. I feel like it's falling on deaf ears. Let me know your thoughts. We're about to dive into these 2 cases right now.
Bullhorn Betty rocks.
So grab your beverage, get comfortable, and let's have a chat about these 2 horrible cases, finding out what happened.
Steaming, files on the table. We clocking early, hunt what's unstable. Bullhorn Betty on the curb, voice raised. Flip-flop queen with the homemade phrase. Notebook thick, got the screenshots flag. Names in red ink, every rumor, every tag. Late night live stream, screen glow on her face. Truth in her throat, got a lawman's pace. She don't blink when the threats roll through. Come see me, she says, if you think that's cute. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that they gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we get that justice. Insane Asylum, that's our crew nickname. Laugh so loud while we track these names. Whiteboard wild with the webs we spin. Pen to pen, see the pattern sink in. Thermo shaking when the case goes cold. We stir it back up, won't do what we're told. Doorstep question, side eye stare. Where were you that night? We hanging right there. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that they gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we get that justice. This for the faces on the milk cart labels. This for the families praying at tables. This for the names that the news won't say. We say them out loud every single day. Every day. If you're running in the dark, better feel that fear. Betty got a bullhorn right in your ear. Coffee club crazy, but we think so clear. One small town, whole world gonna hear. Hey! Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that the day gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we take quick
Woo-hoo-hoo, we're popping and locking today. We got some spiking going on here. We got some drop frames. I'm sorry, y'all. everything's been working out fine. So I just assumed everything would be still working out fine. But we did put a lot of stuff on today's show because we've got a lot of stuff to go over. So if we're dropping a little bit, a little shaky, just bear with us. I will make sure that we reset the system for tomorrow. Don't worry, I'm not touching any settings. Lisa be always. We won't set. We're just gonna just finesse it, just reset it. Sometimes it gets gunky. I keep this. I keep our internet up, so it's always connected. So every now and again, it does do some funky junky to our OBS system, and it has to do with me keeping all this stuff open all the time. So anyways, it is what it is. No big deal. We'll get through the show. This morning, as you guys just saw, we do have a new article that I just released this morning. It took a little while to come, to work up, but at the end of the day, we haven't done any articles on our Substack in a few months. So I went ahead and dropped this. We're going to be dropping some more articles throughout this week and into the next week. I'm probably going to be dropping something like maybe something every other day. I think I have time for something like that. But anything more than that right now is going to be entirely too much. Hopefully at some point I can get some of this stuff done a little bit easier, but right now it's all being done by me, so we have to bear with it. So this is a great article. Worked a lot of time on it. It's very involved, so I hope you guys get an opportunity to go over there and read it. It is for our paid members, so if you're not a paid member, you probably will only be able to read a portion of it. Maybe I'll read it in a couple days to the audience so everybody can see what's in it. Anyways, I just thought I would throw that out. But today we're going to be getting involved in talking about the case of I would say the case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, but we've been missing the mom. Malaya Brooks Murray, this is the first interview and the only interview we had of this lady. This was done literally on May 3rd, 2025, folks. After this interview, she packed up and left this area and never came back again. Highly suspicious. Never seen that. In the history of doing this, the only other person that did this kind of crap right here was Katie Proudfoot. And Katie Proudfoot at least waited a couple weeks before she decided to, disappear on everybody and run to a different state. Yes, Katie Proudfoot and her husband fled to a different state during the massive part of the search efforts for Sebastian Rogers after law enforcement gave up on the case. Law enforcement out in Sumner County is just, I've got no respect for them. I'm never going to have respect for them. You want me to have respect for you? Fire your leadership in that community. I have no respect for that community right now. And I don't mean to be so hard on it. The people out there that love me, know I love them. But they also know that I am accurate in stating that everybody out there has failed this child. Everybody. The only people out there that hasn't failed the child are very minimal people. And let me tell you, this is a Bible-thumping area. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going and sitting on pews and praying to God every single day and God giving you the word to do better, right? To stand up, stand strong, right? Gives you the power of your mouth. Gives you the courage, right, through strength and prayer, and then when you have a massive thing go on in your community, you sit silently. I just want people to understand that. That is one thing you will never see me do, is sit silently, okay? And people are like, yeah, because you're a motor mouth. Yeah, I am. But there's a reason why I'm a motor mouth, right? Is because when you sit silently for so long, you watch bad things happen and nobody can do a damn thing about it. And you know what? At the end of the day, when you sit on the sidelines long enough and you look at the chaos going on and you think that I've been sitting here silently observing all of this stuff for so long, and guess what? Nobody's said anything. Well, what does it really matter? I don't know, but nobody's ever said anything. Don't you think maybe somebody should say something? Right? This lady never said anything. Her friends have encouraged and enabled her behavior. She's acting like she's a freaking infant. I'm going to counseling and I'm doing art and I'm really, trying to heal. You've got 3 children, not one of them in your possession, and you're freaking painting? What the flip is wrong with you, lady? And what the hell is wrong with your friends? Their friends are only there. You cannot tell me that these friends truly believe Malaya knows nothing. And if they do, then they're either in denial or too stupid to even be involved. Okay? I'm very, very blunt. I'm very abrasive when it comes to crap like this. I don't like people hurting children. And so we're going to go back. We're going to read the two. We're going to listen to, I think it's important that we listen to these two things before we listen to the most recent updated information. So if you guys are new to this case, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, again, 4 and 6 years old. Lilly was the oldest. Jack was the youngest. They were best friends. Lilly just recently got a black eye. Okay? Do I have it on this one, or was it when it reset? Let me see if I have this one. NG, time board, murder board. Yeah, I don't have them on here. Let me see if it's on here. Let me see what I got on here. NG. I must have reset all of this stuff, and I taken it out. We have a timeline for this. Let me find the time. I think it's going to be important for this timeline to come up. So give me just a second. Let me find the timeline for Lilly and Jack Sullivan. I think we, need it in case there might be some, audience members that are unfamiliar with this case. I can't remember. I think it's like 4/28. That's why I need it. I need to find out what date. I think it's 4/28 was Monday, and they had to go back to school. And so this was one of these weird, yes, okay, hold on here. I think I might have it. Hold on a second. Oh, thank you, Jean. Oh yeah, and I'll get to the cards in just a second. Let me pull this up real quick. Where is it? We've got a lot of pictures of them, lots and lots. The kids were so cute. I mean, they're precious. And when their mother put them in all these cute little clothes, like they were just precious. They still are. It's heartbreaking. But I don't believe either one of the parents. I think, where the hell is the damn timeline? What in the world? Are you sitting here saying I don't have the freaking timeline? How do I not have the freaking timeline? Okay, well, we got the timeline for Nancy. There's Nancy's timeline. There's Sebastian's timeline. Nancy's, here we go. Lilly and Jack timeline. Okay, we got it. We got it, guys. I found it. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. I am super, super sorry. So here we go. Here's the timeline. I thought this was important, especially for those that are unfamiliar with this case. Let me move this over. We got this over. There we go. Let's just move this in ever so slightly. There we go. And we'll move this up here. All right, so here we go. Here's the timeline, folks. This is the timeline as we know it. I'm going to move my head out. Let me just move out of the way here so you guys can see. So this is Daniel Martell. Over here is Malaya Brooks Murray. This is their dilapidated home that they live with grandmother. This is Jeannie McKenzie, which is Daniel Martell's biological mother. They live on this property. Him and Malaya and the kids live in this dilapidated trailer. All the way over here is an RV, and that's where Janie lives. And the two children, Lilly, 6, and Jack, 5. Or is it 6 and 4? Yeah, 6 and 4. She's 6, he's 4. And Lilly and Jack have not been seen. So when you come over here, you see that they were in school on Monday, and they were in school on Tuesday. Now, on Wednesday, they were out of school. This was a teacher date. I don't know what this teacher date was, but it was like a teacher's date. The school was closed, okay? The school was closed, so they had off. Well, it just so happens this Wednesday night, Lilly gets this black eye. Okay? So now Lilly has a black eye. According to Daniel Martell, she was playing with a Tonka truck on the floor, and the Tonka truck jumped up off the floor and hit her in the eye. That's his story on how she got this black eye on Wednesday the 30th. But I find it awfully funny that that they're fine Monday and Tuesday. The kids are fine Monday and Tuesday to go to school. She receives another black eye. Now, this is, I say another black eye because both of these kids seem to always be wearing black eyes somewhere, somehow. It's not the first time either one of them have had a black eye. We've talked about this in our show before, how many children get black eyes. It does happen, okay? So I don't want to say that it doesn't happen. Thank you, Jean. Thank you for becoming the newest member of our coffee club. So I don't want to say that this has never happened before, right? We know that kids get black eyes, and so do parents. Parents get black eyes from their children. I've seen a baby, like a 3 or 4 month, well, maybe not, maybe 6 to 8 month old baby give the mommy a black eye. Did this number with the head, and head butted her right in her nose. Didn't break her nose, but gave her black eyes. And that was from her baby. So I know for a fact, because I was there. I saw this event happen. Now, I would have probably questioned it or looked a little, had I not been there. But her baby gave her 2 black eyes. And so I have seen this before, but it was once in a lifetime. It wasn't a regular occurrence. From my understanding with these children, these black eyes were regular occurrence. Thursday, Malaya or Daniel called these kids in sick, and at 6:15 on Friday, February 2nd, when these kids disappeared, again, one of the parents called these kids in sick. They were sick in bed, okay? You need to know that these kids were home sick in bed this day. This is going to be very, very important for you to understand this story because Malaya has a different story 15 months later. So I want you guys to remember what the story is prior to this. And so that's why I thought it was very, very, very important that we review the interviews before we get to the main interview now. Okay, so that's why it's super important to do that. Before we get started, I know we got a few people. I want to let you guys know we got cards here. So these are the cards we're going to use. This is just, I love these cards. These came from Robin, but these are just there's so many of them, but they're such good cards to read to inspire and get you in a good mood. We've got Crush Your Goal. Crush Your Goal cards, and we've got Hope and Happiness cards. Hope and Happiness cards. So I know that Melanie does not really care which cards I use, but this is not the first ones. We've got several people that are participating in our cards today, so I want to read those off and thank everybody that's here. Thank you so much. So we have Melanie, Eeyore, and Jean. I'd like to know for Eeyore and Jean, which set of cards would you like? Would you like Crush Your Goals, Hope and Happiness? And I don't even know what to call these. We're going to call these the wave cards because they got little waves on them, but they don't have a name to the cards. Do they have a name? Do they have the name? Green Inspired. So inspired cards, I guess is what we could call them. Inspiration cards. The wave, because we got several other inspiration cards too, so we'll call these the wave inspiration cards. So we have the wave cards, the Hope and Happiness cards, and the Crush Your Goal. So Eeyore and Jean, I'm going to need to know which ones you want. Melanie, I'm going to probably pull you out of the wave. I like these, and these I think are perfect. I just think they're I love these, and I know you don't care, so I'm going to use these for you. Eeyore and Jean, I need to know what you'd like. And Jean, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. The insane asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. And don't worry, Yvonne, I see the floating heart. Thank you, Yvonne. We appreciate. Love back to you, babe. Love back to you. All right, so for Melanie, we're going to get you 5 cards out of our Wave Inspiration cards. And we're going to pull out of the middle of the deck, and I'm just going to pull out of the middle of this deck and get you 5 cards. So I think might have the 5 cards. Let's count them. You might get lucky and get a 6th card. We might give you a bonus card. Let's see what we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you got 2 bonus cards. I accidentally pulled 7. So let's read these for Miss Melanie. And we don't know who these messages are for. And that's why I say in the goal, when I make the goal, I say, what does the universe have to say? Not necessarily to you. I mean, we would hope that you get something out of these cards, but there's a lot of people listening to the show. And sometimes somebody that is listening may need to hear the message from the universe. So just because these are for Melanie doesn't mean your little ears shouldn't be hearing them too. Very little needed to make a happy life. Whatever you're ready for is ready for you. I love that. This is why I love these cards. Very little is needed to make a happy life. Whatever you're ready for is ready for you. I love that. Laughter is an instant vacation. Time does not change us. It just unfolds us. Ooh, I love that. There is nothing that cannot happen today. There is more to life than increasing its speed. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. All right, horsey. We're going to bring you in. Which one do you want? Wavy inspiration, prayer, hope and happiness, or crush your goals? The future turns out to be something that you make it instead of find. So let me read that again. The future turns out to be something that you make instead of find. To be able to look back upon one's life in satisfaction is to live twice. Wow. Strength is a matter of a made-up mind. Happiness is not perfected until it is shared. Ooh, I love that. That should be our motto here. Happiness is not perfected until it's shared. I like that. Will and energy sometimes prove greater than either genius or talent or temperament? Ooh, I like that one too. In solitude, we discover that our life is not a possession to be defended, but a gift to be shared. These are why I love these cards. I love that. In solitude, we discover that our life is not a possession. It's to be defended. It's a gift to be shared. Our life is to be shared. We are not on earth to see how important we can become, but to see how much difference we can make in lives of others. So important to the Bullhorn Betty Show. Find your passion and pursue it with a whole heart and a single mind. I love that. I love that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing those messages. Melanie, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let me go and see what these other ladies would like to play. We got Jean and Horsey and Eeyore. So I'm not on that side, so you probably already responded, so I'm probably going to have to go up and search for your answers here. Let me see what we got. Hope and happiness for Jean. Okay, gotcha. And where are we with hope and happiness for Eeyore? So we got hope and happiness for Eeyore, you'll go first, and then we'll do Jean second. Let me turn these up. Okay, I shuffle these cards a little bit. I like to make sure the universe is really nice and solid with its message. So we got 10 coming out of here. Let's pull out the middle. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we got let's shuffle again and pull out the middle. And then Horsey Love, you're going to get 10 cards, so you're going to need to tell me if you want two separate decks of cards, or if you want me to pull them out of the same deck. So you'll have to let me know. And then we've got this is for Eeyore, and then Jean, you're next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and apparently I've got my okay, we got all of these ready, so let me get these back. Put these cards back. Okay, Eeyore is first. So Eeyore, hope and happiness. This is what the universe cards have been pulled for yours. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. Love that. Be the fruit of the Spirit, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Galatians 5:22 to 5:23. This is the one thing that Bullhorn Betty needs to hear. This is the one thing. Be the fruit of the Spirit. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. Everything Betty just isn't. Just isn't. Maybe Betty needs to hear that. Every now and again, I wonder which ones the universe is saying, Betty, you need to hear this. You need to hear this, right? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Oh, that's really good for you, Eeyore. Philippians 4:13. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives, but I do not let your heart be troubled and do not be afraid. John 14:27. Ooh, I like that. That's really sweet. That's inspirational, and I bet you that's just for you. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. I do not let your heart be troubled and do not be afraid. So whatever you're going through, do not be afraid. Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. Matthew 22:37. Ah, that was beautiful. I love that. Okay, Jean, you are up. And then I'll go and find out what you want, Miss Horsey. For I know the plan I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good work, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2:10. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3:20. I like that. You got a lot of Ephesians. That might be something you might want to look into. For God did not give us the spirit of timidity. Timidity. Never heard that. But a spirit of power, of love, and of self-discipline. 2 Timothy 1:7. Jesus answered, I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. Lots of great messaging here. Oh my gosh. I know a lot of us probably need to hear some of these messages, especially the hope and happiness. Good gracious. That was pretty raw. Ooh, I feel good. I feel good about that. Okay, let me find Horsey. Where's Horsey? Horsey. BHB pick. Okay, BHB pick. I'm going to do two. We've gotten 2 rounds of hope and happiness, so I'm going to do crush your goals for 5, and then I'm going to do wavy. Actually, I think I'll do wavy inspirational for your other ones. So we got pull in the middle. 1, 2. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we did get 5. Okay, so crush your goals. There was no magic to it. I just wrote constantly and kept trying to get better and nurtured delusions. I'm not lying. That's what it says. And nurtured delusions. It's totally normal. These are kind of funny. You guys think I'm joking. You guys think I'm joking. I'm not. There was no magic to it. I just wrote constantly and kept trying to get better and nurtured the delusions. It's totally normal. I love that. My father used to say to me, the only limit to your success is your own imagination. I actually believe I actually believe that. Like, I'm still coming to terms with the fact that I might not be an Olympic figure skater. I'm sure there are barriers. I have just chosen not to acknowledge them. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So if you are, horsey, if you're trying to start something, it's giving you that nudge saying to push through it. If somebody else is trying to start something in our chat, it's just telling somebody to push through it. Start before you're ready. Don't prepare, just begin. Ooh, I like that. Look, you live one life. Give it all you flippin' got and take all your shots. One's bound to hit the target. So if you keep shooting for the stars, you're going to get the stars. That's what it's telling you. That's what it's telling you. If you keep shooting for the stars, you're going to get the stars. So keep shooting for the stars. Keep shooting for the stars. Let's do a couple more. I like those crush your goal ones. So we haven't done enough of these crush your goals. So we'll do 5 more. There we go. Oops, did I flip these around? I surely did. Hold on. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I shouldn't be in charge. Can somebody fire her? She's not doing a good enough job. Am I allowed to fire myself? Remember that great expectations create great capabilities. If you limit your goals to what you know you can achieve, you are setting the bar way too low. Ooh, I like that. I know how it looks, but it just start. Nothing is insurmountable. I know how it looks, but just start. So if you have a big problem, just start it, because nothing is insurmountable. Love that one. Determination and hard work are as important as talent. Don't let anyone discourage you. Yes, rejection and criticism hurt, but get used to it. Any successful person has to be literally get thick skin. And trust me, any successful person, I can tell you, has failed more times than not to become that successful person. And this is for everybody. This message right here on this card is for everybody in the chat. You are enough just as you are. I want to repeat that again. You are enough just as you are. The only way to get things done is to start to do it. Then keep on doing it, and finally you finish it. So if you want to get done with a project, start it. And I know that's also another message for Bullhorn Betty to hear. So the universe is speaking to us, to some of us, or maybe to all of us. So heed the universe warning, right? So we appreciate doing these because it really is luck of the draw. And I know sometimes the messages may not even be for the person that paid for the cards to be drawn. Maybe somebody else out there in the public needed to hear those things. So welcome, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started on this terrible case of these 2 children. I believe they're dead. And it's not just my belief. Early on in this case, I just want to make sure you guys understand, law enforcement told us that. It was the Canadian police and how they do their investigation is much more, in my opinion, in a lot of respects, is a lot more transparent. They don't really hold a whole lot to their chest. I mean, they do at first, but at some point they release it. And they strategically release it. But the stuff that we had on this case early on is not something we would have had in America. I can tell you that. So I've really appreciated this transparency and openness in this case when it comes to Pictou County, when it comes to Nova Scotia, like the Nova Scotia RCMP, which is the Royal Mounted Canadian Police. They've, in my opinion, I'm not saying that they've done a perfect job, but they've done a good job for me, an excellent job as far as some communications. I mean, this is a desolate area. When it starts snowing, they have to shut everything down. So at the end of the year, when it starts picking up and the weather starts becoming blizzard-like weather, they can't be out there looking for these children. But before that, I mean, literally within, I want to say 24 to 48 hours, law enforcement already stated they felt these children were deceased. They never, like from day 2 of this investigation, we were never looking for children that were alive, according to law enforcement out there. So I just want to let you know how quickly they determined these children were deceased. And that's very, very, very important because, a mother never usually takes a law enforcement's word for it that her 2 children are dead without seeing their bodies. And this lady, when you listen to her and you see how nonchalant she appears to be, and you see how she's not very urgent, she has no emotion. It's off-putting.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it.
We've got a lot of drop frames today.
The next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him,
my system is showing an unnormal amount of drop frames. How is the video doing out there? Should we, if it's really janky, let me know it's janky, because we'll take about 10 minutes and reset the system so we're not janky anymore. How are we doing? Is everything coming in clear? Are we buffering or janky in any way? I'm going to wait until I hear from somebody. Good morning, good morning. It's good? We haven't had any problems? Looks good from here. Not janky. Fine on my end. Okay. All right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because it's showing me, it's not showing a lot, but I've been noticing some spiking behind the scenes, and I think that had to do with it because I opened up OBS and still was researching, and it always does something to my system. I don't know why.
My partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. I
just find this whole thing with the Amber Alerts disturbing. There's a few things I find disturbing in this initial interview. One, the kids are playing when she called them in as sick. They're playing in the next room. If they're up and able to play, then they're able to go to school. That's the way, I look at things, period. They're able to go to school. So that's number one. And two is this anxious and anxiety over this Amber Alert. And it seems the reason why she wants the Amber Alert so bad is because she wants people to believe that these children were abducted in the middle of nowhere, where nobody goes. There's literally like 1 or 2 cars on the road during this time. So I feel like she feels like if she gets the Amber Alert, she will be absolved of her whatever they did to these kids. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't trust her, and I don't like her.
Possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been. But
it is a possibility that they could have been. The way she even says that, we talked about that. It just is. It's weird. It's weird. Listen to how she talks about this Amber Alert she wants to have.
Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been.
So even she doesn't believe that they could have been abducted. So what's the purpose of having the Amber Alert?
But just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware. Someone else let them know that they were.
Well, most people call their family and friends and say, hey, you know, we have a missing child. Can you come out and help us search? Yeah, of course, Jean. It gets worse. This newer interview is 10 times worse.
Missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe.
Because she doesn't want to have to answer questions.
Maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow.
Pain and sorrow.
We just want them
interesting
found.
words.
We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's
undiagnosed autism again. Every time a child goes missing and a parent's involved, like even that Javea Harris, right? Her parents were like, "Oh, she's autistic." Well, has she been diagnosed with autism? No, but we believe she is. Okay.
Issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful.
She had a black eye the day before that they were not allowed to go back to school. In a mother's
mind, you're always thinking the worst.
This girl here had a black eye and was never allowed to go back to school again. And by the Friday, she was missing for forever.
Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
So she doesn't want to go another night like that without them. Right? She doesn't want to go another night without them. But she runs off and never comes back. So she's been many nights without them. And not just many nights without them. Many nights without them or her youngest baby that she has with Daniel Martel. She's got 3 children. Only one child is alive, and it's not with either Daniel or her. So on October, now this is many months. Now remember, these children were kidnapped, or actually I don't believe they were kidnapped. I believe they were murdered by either their mom or their dad, or their stepdad, or both. But they were both involved. Whatever happened to these children, they both know what happened. I truly believe that. But this was her statement months now. We saw that interview on the 3rd of May, and then she left and she never went back to the house again. She never participated in any search efforts. She hid. She went in hiding. This woman went in hiding. Her 2 children are missing, and she went and hid for 15 blessed months. Okay, this is another lady that I would love to see face to face. But before that, after this interview that you just heard, she wrote a statement, basically shaming or guilt-ridding everybody that's reading it, right? Because at this point, she had all this stuff about her children. She went on her Facebook page and removed literally everything related to her children. She has a few photos, but this is to the extent of her page. That's the extent. She removed everything. Removed everything, every statement, every post, everything, and only had these 2 posts of her children up. And that's all she has done for her children since her children has been missing. This lady deserves to rot in hell. Okay? She deserves to rot in hell. But this is her statement that she made on this post with these children. Obviously, this is her daughter, and this is her son. It says, as a mother, I love my children more than life itself and feel so heartbroken not being able to hold my 2 children, Lilly and Jack, kiss them, breathe in their scent, or tuck them into bed, dress them, wake up to their sweet smiling faces. The longing I have for them to come back to me is greater than the feeling I could ever imagine feeling or put into words how I'm feeling. There is not one single day, minute, or second that goes by that I am not thinking about my children. I walk into a store and all I see is things they love that I want to get for them when they get home. The candy they like, the clothes they wear, the toys they love. All I see is them. That sounds like a lady that made a terrible mistake and probably has a lot of regret for the mistakes that she's made. I'm so desperately wanting them home, safe and sound, back into my arms where I can never let them go. I'm truly traumatized, not being able to hear their sweet sounds of their voice. Traumatized. It sounds like she knew that these kids were dead and were never going to be seen again when she took off and never came back. And I believe she is traumatized because she watched her children probably take their last breath. And that's got to be very traumatizing for any mother. But she's also never fought for them. So I hope she rots in hell. And yes, I do believe she knows. And you're going to find out exactly why, because she's coming up next. You're going to find out exactly why I believe that. So she says, I am truly traumatized for not being able to hear their sweet sound of their voices, their laugh, when they sing Gabby Dollhouse song. That now only makes me cry when I hear it, because all I hear is Lilly and Jack singing along. Not being able to breathe in their scent. I want to embrace them tightly. I don't want these moments to be memories. I want my babies home. My Lily Mae and Jackie, the pure pain I suffer of just not knowing where they are has impacted my life. And M and my family in the most devastating way. Life feels extremely hard to keep going. Yeah, when you do something like you did, it probably seems very difficult. With no answers, it's just pure lostness, she says. Lostness. No matter how lost I feel, I have not given up hope that my children will be returned to me safe and sound. 15 months later. If anyone has any information, no matter how small, please come forward. Do not be afraid to use your voice. It's funny how she says that. Do not be afraid to use your voice, while a lady, the mother of these children, have hidden for over a year. And tells you, don't be afraid to use your voice. Well, where the hell is your voice, Malaya? Where the hell has your voice been for 15 blessed months? I'm so incredibly grateful and thankful to all the ongoing efforts. You mean the lack of your efforts. Everybody else picking up your slack. Now look at her. Long hair done. You know, she looks like she's taking very good care of herself. Very good care of herself. She looks like she's living her best life ever.
People who are close.
Best life ever. And her friends are just fine with this behavior. Her friends are, you know, we're going to get to her friends' comments because her friends are out there with her now. Get this out. Where are her friends? There they are. There we are. There's her friends that love to enable her. There's her friends that can't believe that she's capable of murdering her two children. There's her friends. There they are. They haven't seen her the whole time she was with Daniel because, you know, Malaya turned her back on everybody so she could go and huff drugs and abuse her children. And her friends are like, oh, well, she's my best friend. I know, even though I didn't see her this whole time. And we went to this house, and this house was completely dilapidated. And she was raised better than this. Even though we know there was a lot of drugs in that house, we don't believe she had anything to do with it. I know friends are trying, but, you know, it's friends like this that just make, that have things like scumbag roll off my tongue. Like, how dare you? These were children. These were children. And these are the friends that are enabling her. And of course, they were out here with her, you know, again, being her rock, this terrible mother that chose to smoke a pipe over taking care of her children. I bet you she's still on that frickin' pipe, too.
And know me, know that I would never do anything to my children.
Bullshit.
And that I love them very much.
Thank you for doing this. Malaya, it's been
15
more than
months.
15 months since you've seen Jack and Lily. How are you doing?
Not good.
How do you spend your days?
Just one day at a time, surrounded by family and friends and support systems.
She's talking about support systems, therapy, and all these other things that she's going through right now. One thing she's not talking about is having a job. She's talking about keeping herself busy, how she needs to keep herself busy, but she needs people to be looking at her and feeling sorry for her. She can't be getting on her with her life, like, you know, going back to work and doing things productive to take care of her one only child she does have. How is she paying for that? siphons from her reserve, from being Native American. She living off doing nothing. Just say, hey, I can go into art classes, I can go to therapy. I mean, look at me, look at everything I'm doing. I'm suffering over here. But I've been suffering for 15 months. But guess what? I don't have to get my ass up and be a real mom. I don't have to go and get up and go to work. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is, artsy stuff. Artsy stuff. I have missing children, 3 children, 2 are missing. One's been removed from my custody because the government thinks I'm a bad mom and are concerned that I might murder my other child. So we're removing that child from our care so I can go visit her. But I like to paint. I like to paint. And her friends are just A-okay with this behavior. If this was my friend, I would be doing a hell of a lot more than coddling her. If we were truly friends.
Going to therapy regularly. I do a lot of art and I see my daughter.
No work. No work.
We always plan everything that we can to keep my mind busy.
Oh, you got.
And I know we've heard others talk about Jack and
Jobs is a great way to keep your mind busy and support your damn family. Like send your child money to make sure she has everything she needs. 15 months later. Poor me, poor me, poor me. This piece of garbage mother. And I will promise you, by the time you are done with this video, you're going to be just as angry as me. And we still have a lot more to go on after this. We'll be here for a while
Lilly,
today.
and they've described them, but you spent the most time with them. What can you tell me about Jack and Lilly?
Lilly is a very bubbly little girl who always smiles and loves to pose for photos. She loves unicorns and LOL dolls and to dress up girly. She loves dresses. Just like me when I was younger, I was always wearing dresses. She always loved to pick out her outfits, and I would bring her some and she would pick them out. Jack loves bugs. He loves playing outside, digging for things. Anytime he got a new dinosaur, he was always excited and loves those dino smashers. Those were his favorite. They were both always so happy.
They were all so she as you can hear, she's talking about past tense. We don't know if that's triggering or not, because in all fairness, everything she's referring to was before 15 months ago, which is all past tense. She hasn't seen the children since. So is this, concerning language, or is this, proper language?
And how were they with each other?
They loved each other.
Yeah.
They hugged each other. They would say sorry to each other. Sometimes they would get in fights with each other, but they would always make up.
What do you miss the most about them?
Everything. Their laughter, their smile, their hugs, their smell. I think it's just when you're a mom, your children have a particular scent that you never forget. And
she's going to these olfactory type of senses. She's going back in her mind. I think she's very regretful. Whatever happened, I don't think she ever intended for her kids to be killed over it, but they were. I don't believe anything she says. This idea that she doesn't know where her children are or what happened. You're going to see, it's not far enough in, but you're going to see that the words that she's using, the way she's behaving, the answers she's giving are all indicative that she knows more.
it's just something that you know, especially when they're born and you're holding them in your arms. And it always stays with you.
And how were they with you? I've heard they were both very close with you in particular.
They were both mama's kids. They love their mom.
And you've been holding on to their things. You brought some with you today.
Yeah.
And you've still been buying things for them.
Yeah, I bought them Easter baskets and Valentine's Day stuff, their Christmas stuff, birthday stuff, unopened cards for them to open when they get home. I have everything. And I continue to get more because it's what helps me cope.
You're holding on to it so that you can have it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For when they come home.
So if we can we go back to May of last year, May 2nd?
This is where it starts getting interesting.
What's the last memory you have of seeing or hearing Jack and Lilly?
Hearing their laughter of them playing together in the bedroom.
Now, I just want to remind you that these children were reported sick to their school at 6:15 in the morning. Neither Malaya nor Daniel, either one of them, have acknowledged making that call to report the children absent from school that day. Now, remember, they went to school Monday and Tuesday. Their school was closed down for a teacher, whatever day. And then it was open Thursday and Friday of that week. The problem is they went to school Monday and Tuesday. Lilly received a black eye, and they were called off school for Thursday. They were supposed to go back to school Friday, and then at 6:15 in the morning, they were both called in as being sick at 6:15 in the morning. But neither parent will acknowledge who made that call because they've both been sleeping. And furthermore, if the children are being home, any mother, if your child is sick, do you think you're going to have your children running around the house playing, or are they going to be in bed getting better? You know?
Seeing Lily's face pop in the bedroom.
You laid eyes on Lilly that morning.
Yeah.
And you heard Jack.
Yeah.
I don't think the children were alive that morning.
When did you see Lilly? Do you recall?
I don't think they were alive that morning. I think whatever happened to them the day before, the evening before, because they were observed out at the Dollarama earlier that day. The last time they were observed by a third party was about 3 p.m. On Thursday afternoon. 3 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. And Malaya, Daniel, Jack, Lilly, and their youngest daughter. What is their youngest daughter's name? Why am I forgetting her name? I remember it was a really sweet name. Does anybody remember what her name is? Why am I drawing a blank on the child's name? The youngest, the one that's still alive. Why am I running a blank on it? I don't know why. But either way, the baby, Daniel, and her child that they have together is Meadow. There it is. Thank you. Meadow. I don't know why. Is there a father involved? No. The two children, yes, they do have a father. His name's Cody. Cody's mom is heavily involved in this case, but Cody, when him and Malaya split up and divorced, I don't know if they were married or not, but when they split up and she took custody of the kids, he, from my understanding, has been paying the child support, but he didn't want any more to do with her or the children. It was one of those things. Now, granted, people have their opinions. You can't force somebody to be involved in children's lives, right? And neither can this woman, neither can the grandmother. The grandmother cannot force her son to be a father to these kids, but she was always a grandmother to these kids, whether or not her son was. So I just want to make sure we show grace to their grandmother.
Can't recall the exact time.
Let's listen to this again. I'm gonna shut up because now they're talking about the details.
In the bedroom, and seeing Lily's face pop in the bedroom.
You laid eyes on Lilly that morning.
Yeah.
And you heard Jack.
Yeah.
So when did you see Lilly? Do you recall?
can't recall the exact time.
Sometime after they woke up that morning.
Yeah.
What time did they wake up that morning? That would be a question.
And then what was the next thing that you remember of that morning?
Just waking up, seeing Daniel next to me, and I didn't hear them. And I woke Daniel up and said, I don't hear the kids. So we both went out, and then that's when we started looking for them.
So, at this moment, I want to remind you that the children were reported missing at 10 o'clock in the morning. She's talking about just waking up. Now, mind you, she has a 6-month-old baby with her, Meadow. Now, you tell me what parents can sleep in until 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Who? Who the hell can sleep in until 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock on any day when you have 3 kids? Who? Daniel is the stepfather to Lilly and Jack. He's not their biological father, but he is Meadow's biological father. So Malaya started dating him about 2.5, 3 years ago, prior to this event happening. And when she started dating Daniel, she cut everybody out of her life. So that tells you right there, there's abuse in the home, and there's probably some type of drug or alcohol abuse going on inside that home as well. Nobody does these things without those being usually a factor in why they cut off their, the relationships with all these people and just start only being with this one guy. She literally isolated herself, and isolation is a telltale sign of domestic abuse as well as substance abuse. So now we have all these signs going on, but we're not really knowing about it. But we found out that this trailer that they're living in is literally missing sections of the floor. They're using plastic wrap and things to cover the holes up on the floor. This is the kind of lifestyle these kids are living in. These kids are not used to living like that. Malaya and her family come from money. She was raised around horses and animals and in a clean home, a very clean environment, and that's not what she was raising her children in. So that tells me she is having some major problems. She fell in. So in order for a woman to be with a man that's doing the types of substances he is doing, then she's most likely participating with those substances, okay? And that would explain why she decided to run away from her good home, live in a trailer with missing floor pieces, and put her children in this type of lifestyle, because she's a drug addict, okay? That her friends refuse to acknowledge. Because again, nobody is going to do this to their family unless they're participating, right? I mean, how many of you are going to leave your nice home and go live in a trailer missing floorboards or, the floor with your children and a drug addict for a boyfriend if you're not participating in that? Tell me how many of you guys would do that. Now, I've been on both sides of the aisle. There is no way in hell I would live like this unless I was acting like that. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going. So now we know about the house.
And that's how it all unfolded from there.
You called 911.
She's not even looking at the reporter.
And then chaos ensued, basically.
Yeah.
Do you remember those hours?
The trauma.
She won't look at the lady in her eyes.
To the point where, I block it out because it's hard to,
This was the telltale sign right here that I knew she was involved. Because I can tell you we do this a lot. We have a lot of families that we work with. And the one thing I can tell you is every little statement was ingrained into their mind. Every statement, every movement, every every word spoken was like somebody took a chisel and chiseled them on a rock known as your brain. It's almost like a tattoo. You just don't forget. when you start hearing people talk about time slowing down and forgetfulness and things being hazy, now you're looking into like cases like Summer Wells, where her mother, Candace Bly, was at the water hole saying everything's really slowed down here, and she's really having problems talking about it and reliving. Yep, she's reliving it, watching her eyes, and she can't handle it. She can't even handle saying that law enforcement asked her if she murdered her children. She can't say it out of her own mouth because the thought just disgusts her, right? And that tells me that she's guilty. She's of guilty mind, because if it had been anybody else, we would be like, I can't believe they actually thought I would kill my kids. They think I killed my kids. They asked me if I killed my kids at this point. Now, granted, I believe they've changed their mind about it, but how in the world can anybody think I loved my children? Most people, would be talking like that, not her. She can't even utter it out of her mouth. She can't even utter it out of her mouth. That to me is literally guilty conscience. Guilty conscience. She can't even say it. She can't even say it.
Sit with it and sit with reality.
Let's go back. Let's just go back a little bit. Hold on, let me get this back.
With no answer.
There we go.
You called 911, and then chaos ensued, basically.
Yeah.
Do you remember those hours?
The trauma is so severe to the point where, like, I block it out because it's hard
She's involved.
to
She's involved.
sit with.
I don't know. That's her
and sit
comment.
with
I don't know.
reality. And with no answers, I just don't know how it even happened. Or
I bet that's true.
they should have been.
1 minute they're there, and 1
They
minute
should have
they're
been
alive,
found
1
that
minute they're
day,
dead.
and an Amber Alert should have went out, and
No Amber Alert should have went out. This doesn't rise to those
it
qualifications.
should have never happened.
Yeah. Look at her bite her tongue.
In hindsight,
should have never happened.
What do you think went
What
wrong?
should have never happened?
You mentioned the Amber.
What should have never happened? What should have never happened?
With no answers, I just don't know how it even happened. Or
What happened? It happened. Something
they should have
happened.
they should have been found that day, and an Amber Alert should have went out, and
She's catching herself.
it should have never happened.
Yep. She knows. She knows.
In hindsight, what do you think went
She knows.
wrong? You mentioned the Amber Alert.
Well, I asked the police for an Amber Alert, and they kept telling me one's going to be issued, and I'd go back another few minutes and they would keep telling me the same thing, and I just kept asking and asking.
Can't look at her in
and
the eyes. No eye contact.
all they sent out was that alert,
So they sent out an
and I
alert.
don't feel like that was enough.
The vulnerable persons alert, which went to 2 counties, basically. Do you think that they're in the woods?
I don't know. I just want the police to give me answers on where they're at and bring them.
I'm pretty sure the police are waiting for you to give them answers to bring them back. You notice how she loves to put this all on law enforcement? They're not doing enough. Shame on them. They're not investigating. She's the one that hightailed it out of there within 24 hours. She hightailed it out of here within 24 hours and never came back, folks. That tells me this mother absolutely 100% knew her children were never going to be found. How did she have that crystal ball on day 2? May 3rd. How?
Them home.
How do you feel the RCMP investigation has been going?
It feels like I continue to get the same update.
She's going to give them the same thing. Remember, she's just said. I just want to make sure you guys hear this. We're about to go into a different aspect of this, right? So she just said that she's kind of angry that law enforcement didn't do the Amber Alert, right? What was the other thing she said? And then she's about to say here that, what was it? The Amber Alert, and she's criticizing law enforcement for not telling her any more information about where the kids could be. Yet she's about to say that she thinks they're doing a great job. She's about to sound like Chris Proudfoot, like Don Wells, like Letitia Stout. You're about to hear the same criminal, guilty mind, guilty parent statement. You're going to know it when you hear it. Wait for it. Wait for it. You're about to hear it.
Over and over, and I keep asking for new avenues, and they keep saying we're working on it, and I just don't feel like that's enough. I feel like I deserve more than that, and
not enough.
I deserve answers on where they're at, and
maybe you should tell them where they're at. Maybe you'll find them a lot quicker.
In terms of the evidence, we know that searchers found a cluster of boot prints, one child-sized boot print on the trail.
One print, not a cluster.
Believed to be the size of Lily's shoe. What do you make of that?
And
the fact that there was another
shoe.
Footprint found in a recent
Not two,
search.
just one.
I don't know, because
it was planted. Why would anybody plant a shoe print?
I don't think I could speak on that.
She can't speak on it.
This doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, it doesn't.
And you know why?
With the pink blanket.
Pink blanket.
Do you want to talk about
another item that was planted? Why would anybody from the home be planting evidence around their property? One single boot print here, another single boot print there, and it's always the same side of the shoe print, right? So if it was a left shoe or a right shoe, whatever it was, I don't remember if it was left or right, it was the same one. And then you got this pink blanket in a tree on the opposite direction. So that's telling me that somebody's trying to lead them away from an area. The only person moving about all of this time at night and everything else was Daniel Martell. Daniel Martell. So they're both involved in this shit here. I'll guarantee it. I bet this channel on it. They're both involved.
About the pink blanket?
I don't even know how it even got there.
It was planted. They said it was planted. Law enforcement did.
That was Lily's blanket that had been old and ripped apart? And had been presumably in the garbage can, but
yeah, see, she's even
tree.
Now it's in the tree.
A kilometer away.
A mile away.
None of it makes sense.
None of it makes sense.
I just demand answers.
What's your relationship with RCMP?
At first, it was, I had to
she can't say
explain a lot.
She can't say it. She cannot say it. She can't even let it come out of her mouth.
Which I
That's guilty.
Obviously didn't mind. I gave them everything that I knew and that I had, and that. But it seems like the relationship is kind of dwindling off because they're just not.
They don't believe you, boo.
Explaining enough.
Not
and I understand that they.
She's not explaining
are
enough.
busy and they have many other cases, but
what did I tell you?
I just feel like more should be happening.
I know at points you were questioned heavily by police and even given polygraph tests. Did you feel you were interrogated?
No. Not at all.
She didn't feel interrogated at all.
Did you ever feel RCMP were suspicious of you?
I would assume at first because they didn't know the answers.
Clearly they still don't have them.
The RCMP know now.
Do they?
You've been polygraphed how many times? Twice?
Twice.
Why would they need to go for a
What
second
was that
time?
experience like?
It was nerve-wracking, mostly because of the question I was asked. The second one wasn't as bad because I had already been through one.
So what were they?
But I understood why they had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And
It is.
I just got through it. And
Got through what? Got through what?
because I knew the truth.
Do you?
What was the question?
What was the question? She can't say it. She can't say it.
The first one
She can't
was
say
if
it.
It's too heartbreaking to say.
She can't look at the lady in her eyes. She can't even speak. She won't answer any questions. She loves talking about herself. She loves talking about her therapy and how she's going through everything. And she did say a little bit about Lilly and Jack up front, but what is she really doing here? Why did she decide to do this? I can't figure it out because she's not really giving us anything. I think she's doing it to make herself feel good, to make herself feel like, okay, well, now they can't see I've been, out of the limelight. This mom has been missing for literally over a year. Nobody has seen this woman. The last time we heard from this woman was October of 2025, literally almost a year ago. Over 10 months ago. She left this house and this location on May 3rd, never to return again, ever. Never. She never, ever searched for her children. Not one step. Not one step. She never left that house, folks. When her children went missing, she stayed right there on that property, never left the house. And then when she did leave the house, she left forever. She never came back. And now she can't even say the question.
No.
Did police ask if you had anything to do with the disappearance?
No.
That means they asked her if she murdered her kids.
I kept asking that question myself to them, and
She was asked if she murdered her kids.
That's a good question, but also I didn't know why they wouldn't polygraph me for that as well.
Because they don't
But I
believe
already
the children
told
are
them
alive.
if any more polygraphs are going to be done, that I'm more than willing to go in and do.
You know what? That reminds me of something. Law enforcement must have some evidence that these kids are dead. Because they came to the conclusion that these kids are deceased very, very early on. I mean, earlier than we've ever had a call in America. And it makes me feel like there must have been, and I actually remember them not bringing in the dogs until after they trampled the scene, because that was one of our biggest complaints, was they had everybody searching without the dogs being there, and now that they've monkeyed up the scent trail of the dog, because the dog didn't get there until like 24 or 48 hours later. So they couldn't even really use the scent dog. They did bring cadaver dogs back to the house, but that was many months later. There was something that triggered them believing these kids were dead very early on. I mean, the RCMP made the determination the children were deceased, not me and not anybody else. They're the ones that said the kids are gone. They're dead. So, and I we keep forgetting that. I think we keep forgetting how soon they called these kids. I don't even think it was I think it was within the 24 hours of these children being reported missing that they were calling these children deceased, dead. These kids were dead. Because Yvonne, she killed them she might have killed, yeah, something must have happened in the house. I mean, we're assuming, we don't know for a fact, but I mean, if we were to take, 1 + 1 = 2, and again, sometimes it's clouded a little bit, but in this case, we did have them call these children deceased very, very early on, like within days of this case. I want to say within 24 or 48 hours, law enforcement was saying these kids were dead. So it was very, very quickly. And I remember we all kind of said, like, how do they know? And we kind of forgot to ask that question as this case, started carrying on. Is, why did they call these kids deceased so quickly in this case? There must be something that they know. And they never even asked the mom or the stepfather about, like hiding the children. All of their questions were about the homicide of the kids. So their law enforcement is very, very clear on what they think happened to these children. They do not think that they were abducted or kidnapped. They think they were murdered by either her or Daniel or both, or somebody else at that property. That's the only way that would explain why they're only asking them questions about whether they murdered the children or not versus, just kidnapping them or putting them somewhere or hiding them from family or friends or something else. They didn't ask any of those questions. They asked them, she just asked her, did they ask you about the disappearance of the kids? She said no, they didn't. So that means they're only asking them about whether they murdered these kids or not. That's pretty damaging, and that's pretty telling. No? Isn't that pretty telling? Wouldn't you agree that that's fairly telling? I think it's telling.
To them, and they would just reply, "That's a good question," but also I didn't know why they wouldn't polygraph me for that as well.
They never
But I
polygraphed her
already
for
told
that.
them if any more polygraphs are going to be done, that I'm more than willing to go in and do them.
You wanted them to ask you that question? Can I ask you that question?
She's hesitant on that.
Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly?
No.
I don't believe her. No crying, no tears. Everything's been
What do you think
fake.
happened to them?
The only thing I can assume is someone took them.
She doesn't believe they wandered off. She doesn't believe they're in the woods. And I like this because the interviewer asked her this question a different way early at the very beginning of this thing. What do you think happened? And she's like, I don't know. And so she asked her again now after her giving all this spiel about the thing. She asked her again, what do you think happened to him? And now all of a sudden she knows. She thinks that somebody took him. She definitely doesn't believe that they... Betty, you are correct. The RMC do believe they are deceased. Yes, they do. I remember that because I remember thinking to myself, man, they called this quick. They called these kids quick. And, but I think everything was moving so quickly at the time. I don't think we slowed down to ask, damn, we knew that they called the children being deceased very quickly, but I don't think we stopped to ask, how did they reach? We did ask. I know we would have asked. I know how my body and my brain thinks. So I know I would have asked the question, but I don't think we stayed on it. Like, this was a critical issue here, and I don't think we stayed on it is the problem. We're going to be on a 3 or 4 hour show today, guys. So if you guys are here, bear with it. We still have a lot to go over. We're about an hour and a half into the show, and we're not even done with the first story yet. So we're going to be here for a while. If you guys need to take a break, just let me know. We'll put some music on so you don't miss anything, so everybody can take, go to the restroom or whatever. But most of you guys have cell phones, okay? So we're not gonna make it TMI, right? But at least this day and age, you can carry us with you, okay? Everybody's like, Betty, we know everybody does it, but nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Why is this coming out of here? Why is it not coming out of my... Wait a minute. What the hell? There it is. It didn't come through it came through the microphone. I don't know why it came through the microphone. That was weird. Okay. So we have cold sore. Up. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. That's kind of bad. Kim's in... What are you barking at, Lila? Okay, Cody is ruled out by, yes, Cody was ruled out. The father, the biological father of these kids, were ruled out. He had nothing to do with his children. He wanted nothing to do with his children. He's not going to go and kidnap his kids. He's just not. Yeah, everything's been just fine this whole time. He's never had any qualms with his children. He didn't want anything to do with his children. He was brokenhearted whenever Malaya left him. He was so brokenhearted. He didn't want anything to do. It's just a young punk, you know? I mean, it is what it is. But it's not him.
But for what reason, I don't know.
But you know, we all do it.
Home. Definitely that morning.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back. I don't know. I don't think it was definitely that morning. I think it was the night before.
Assume is someone took them. But for what reason, I don't know.
Yep. You think someone took them? Who would want them? I mean, not like that, but usually people that take kids want them for, you know, certain purposes. Okay? Disgusting, deplorable purposes, but for certain purposes. And usually they don't take two children at once. They'll take the child that they want and leave the other child behind. Very rarely do you ever hear of kidnappings of two children, okay, together. Does it happen? I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I mean, it's not like we're not dealing, like, this is not, the details of this case is not the Nancy Guthrie case where, you know, we have this alleged ransom that literally meets no ransom around the world. We've never seen any ransom conducted this way, right? So, like, there's nothing to compare that to. This, we have had, you know, two children kidnapped at the same time. It's just very, very, very rare. Okay, very rare. And we have to realize that because it's rare, the probability of it happening in this case is probably not, you know, it's not a double kidnapping. But could it be? The answer is, in all fairness, yes, because there has been kidnappings of double siblings before. Usually when you have it like that, it's a family member. The family has been exonerated in this case. The grandparents weren't really involved in these children's lives because Malaya pushed them all out. The father wasn't involved in these children's lives because he pushed his own self out. Her friends weren't really involved because she isolated herself and cut all her friends and family off to be in this toxic relationship with Daniel Martel, in this drug-fueled relationship. So yeah, we've got some issues here. But the one thing that doesn't fit in this case is the fact that these kids most likely were abducted. I don't believe that. I believe it's similar to Summer Wells. Like, it was so difficult to, like, Summer Wells is literally on the top of a freaking mountain, and a 4-cylinder vehicle can't even drive up the driveway without rolling backwards. So, you know, trying to say that she was kidnapped from a top of a mountain when you can't even barely, like, half the vehicles that are owned by people can't even drive up the mountain, cut it out. And then you got this one where this is literally in the middle of nowhere. This used to be an up and happening town many, many, many years ago. This was a sawmill community, okay? So what is a sawmill? The sawmills used to mill wood. This was a huge milling town. Well, their mills dried up. They shut down. And it left this place very desolate. So a lot of the families that used to live in this area moved out to where there were jobs. There's only several people living out there. I want to say less than 100 out in this area of Pictou County. It's very desolated, very isolated. Neighbors are not, you know, on top of each other here. And so you're not getting a whole lot of people driving, you know, up and down these roads at this time of morning. You're just not. Yeah, you have maybe 1 or 2 people commuting, and you've got the bus, the school bus for the kids. That's it. That's it. And with our history, and this lady right here does have issues with postpartum depression. She had a 6-month-old child. We're watching the Clancy trial right now. Did this lady do this? Is it possible? Yes, it is. And every time she goes in, she wasn't even paying attention to Lilly and Jack during this time, even though she's trying to say she was. She was not paying attention to her children. The person that was always with her children, making them go outside and get some air and fresh stuff, that was Daniel Martell, not her. She wanted nothing to do with her kids after Meadow. So let's not forget who we're talking about here.
Definitely that morning.
But I just want them back home.
Sure you do. Mistakes happen every day.
RCMP have publicly said they have no reasonable grounds to believe this was criminal. Do you think this was criminal?
I honestly don't know. I'm just...
How can you say that you think somebody stole your children, and then literally the next question you say you don't think that this is criminal? You don't know whether this is criminal. Just
waiting for the police to give me all the facts.
How are the police gonna give you all the facts, boo-boo? You were there. She just keeps pushing this on the law enforcement because she doesn't want to answer anything. She doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't want to be held accountable for anything, responsible for anything. It's all law enforcement's fault. They're the ones that need to tell me what happened that morning at my house. This is what this lady is saying. I'm waiting for the police to tell me what happened in my house.
You think they're withholding from you?
I feel like they have to protect the case, and I understand that. And even though it's hard and extremely frustrating, I just have to do what they say and pray every day that they bring them home.
She knows they're not coming home. Any mother that leaves the last place her children were ever at and never returns again, she knows her children are dead. She is terrified of reliving that experience. That's why she left. This lady knows exactly what happened to those children. Not one spot doubt in my mind makes me believe or sympathize with this lady that she has no idea where her children are. I absolutely believe 100% this lady right here knows exactly what happened.
As you know, there's been a lot of accusations flung your
All right,
way
we're going to take a
from
break here
Daniel
because
Martell.
I need this. This is where we need to really focus on. They're about to get into the day. So we're going to take just a few moments. Everybody's going to take a break, get yourself a beverage, use the restroom, so we can come back here and watch this. This is going to get, this is the heating up moment, but I've got to use the little girl's room, and I know there's got to be somebody else in the chat that needs to use. I would normally just run this, but this is getting to the point where we're going to have to stop and discuss. So let's all just take about 2 or 3 minute break, and then we'll be back. Grab yourself a beverage and get yourself comfortable. We will be right back. getting back up and running here. Let's get back over here. Okay. So, I just needed a little break. We're spending the first 2 going to be for Nancy Guthrie and the updates in the Nancy Guthrie case, including the discussion of Luke Daly and Carlos. And I've got a little tidbit of evidence that might change this case and flip this on its head, because now it's starting to look like Carlos. So we're going to get into all of that this afternoon, or not this afternoon, but in this episode, later in this episode, after this story here that we're covering. But this is going to kind of blow your mind just a little bit when it comes to Carlos, and we're going to discuss that. So if you guys are in the Nancy Guthrie case, please stay with us until we get through this segment. We're getting through it. We still got a lot to go. We're about halfway through this interview here, and then we still have some other details that need to fill in for all of you that are not too familiar with this case.
Tell your former partner.
Okay, hold on. Let me
understand that.
There we go. I just want to go back just a few minutes.
Even though it's hard and extremely frustrating, I just have to do what they say and
morning, Ted. Is Ted in the
pray
chat?
every day that they
morning.
Bring them
Captain
home.
Obvious. Good morning.
As you know, there's been a lot of accusations flung your way from Daniel Martel, your former partner, and his family, that possibly you or your family were involved in some way.
There you are.
What do you say to that?
I hope you're doing well.
I honestly don't know what to say, because we both know we were in the same bed that morning, so I don't understand.
Oh, so she's sitting there, so they're both each other's alibi, right? They're both sleeping. So then neither one of them know exactly what either one of them were doing, because they were both in bed sleeping. And when she woke up and didn't hear the kids, well, Daniel was laying next to her at that time. But where was Daniel when she woke up at 6:15 and called them in sick at the school? Who was up moving around at 6:15 in the morning? Were both of them moving around? At what time did the children come into their house? Because if they made the call at 6:15 and they didn't make another call until, that's 4 hours. So you're telling me for 4 hours, no child was being watched by either parent? And they were supposed to allegedly home sick? That doesn't make any damn sense. That doesn't make any damn sense, does it?
And why they would make up stories.
After that first weekend when Jack and Lily went missing,
Listen to this.
on May 3rd, the Saturday, the day following the day that they were reported missing, that was the last day you were there in Lansdowne. There's been
May 3rd.
widespread skepticism.
I want to make sure you guys understand. May 2nd, they reported these children missing at around 10:30 in the morning, okay? On the 2nd. By 4 o'clock on the 3rd, 4 o'clock on the 3rd, 24, about 30 hours later. 30 hours later from the time that they reported these kids missing, 30 hours or less, she's gone and gone forever. So now this interviewee is about to ask her about that. Why did you leave? You guys are going to be dumbfounded by her response.
Alea, about why you chose to leave the scene that day. What would you like to say about that decision?
The police had said that we should go, and
The police told her to go. The police told her to go. I don't believe that.
told my family privately to take me out of there, and I was in too much state of shock that
15
I just
months.
wanted to be
15 months of state of shock. This is why I say this lady here absolutely knows what happened to her children. Absolutely knows what happened to her children. We're going back another 10, 15 seconds and going back.
We should go, and told my family privately to take me out of there. And I was in too much state of shock that I just wanted to be with my family.
But not her kids. Not her missing
daughter.
kids. Oh.
So
But not her missing kids.
we got out of there. And
But not
the
her missing
police
kids.
met us back at Mom's.
And they were updating you there.
Yeah, and I had to do a very lengthy interview with them.
Why didn't you go back?
I don't think I can touch on that right now.
Oh, she can't touch on why she didn't go back for her children. Very convenient. Very convenient. Very
Is there
convenient.
anything you can say about what life was like before May 2nd in the home with Jack and Lily and Daniel?
I don't think I can talk about it right now. I'm sorry.
So all of these months later, I know
She's
been
spoken
also
to an
a lot of
attorney.
questions about why you stayed so quiet.
She's spoken to an
And that
attorney.
usually a mother of missing children would be speaking out, and even on a megaphone. Why hasn't that been the case for you?
Because the police had told me not to.
Doesn't that sound like Chris Proudfoot? Katie Proudfoot? Every single terrible parent that has done something terrible to their child. Isn't that their excuse? Yet Daniel didn't stay quiet. Seth Rogers didn't stay quiet. A number of other parents didn't stay quiet, right? Gannon Stack's father didn't stay quiet. Nobody stayed quiet. Nobody stopped searching. The only people that stop searching are the ones that don't want to search at all, because usually they're guilty. I truly believe law enforcement tells the same thing to every single family just to see how they are going to react. Are they just going to hide and crawl under a rock? Or are they going to ignore us and get out there and look for their child? You know, I truly believe that these are tests. These are psychological tests that they give every family to see what their actions are. I truly believe it.
That it would jeopardize the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did whatever they told me to do because I didn't want to jeopardize the case in any way. And I also wasn't ready because I'm continuing to go through extreme trauma. And
she continues to go through extreme trauma even 15 months after she most likely had a hand in why her children are missing. I think the trauma she's dealing with is her own made-up trauma. Everybody needs to look at me because I'm the one that's really the victim here, not the two missing children.
even this is extremely hard for me.
I bet it is. Lying through your teeth is very hard.
And there has been intense scrutiny on you and your family in the last few months.
I don't feel I owe people anything.
But yet you're here.
If anything, I'm owed answers. And to have my
no, boo-boo. You owe the world answers. Because when we have piece of shit moms and dads out there, those children are no longer belonging to them. They belong to us. They belong to us. And when we come for you, we demand answers. And unfortunately, in this particular situation, you do owe everybody an explanation. This idea that you owe nobody nothing with two missing children, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Yes, you do. You owe a lot of people a lot of answers, lady. Lots of people, lots of answers. Don't get it twisted.
Children back to me. And I believe the police know what they're doing, and that they're doing everything to find Lilly and Jack.
Oh, I thought just a few minutes ago. Remember I told you guys, wait for it. Well, there you go. There you go. There it is. She was just dogging them, saying they need to tell her what's going on. But now it's, oh, they're doing a great job. They're doing everything they can. This is the playbook of guilty mind. This is what we expect from guilty parents. She's exhibiting the exact everything that we would expect from somebody that had something to do with their children's disappearance. So, and that's why I'm saying that I believe she knows where her children are. It's because she's exhibiting what we see in all parents in her position, right? Not all parents that have missing children are in her position, okay? But the ones that are in her position that did do something, they all act the same. And I like to point that out because we are conditioned by defense attorneys to think that people grieve differently, and they do not. Okay? The only people that grieve differently are people that have mental health issues. Okay? That means they have some medical or mental health issues that change their ability to cry or show emotion. Only in those people do we have the differences of emotions. Everybody else typically acts the same. How do we know that? Because all over this world, none of us speak the same language. Yet when we're hurt all over this world, we cry. When we're happy all over this world, we smile. It doesn't matter what language we have. We can see what somebody is expressing just by looking at them. They can still communicate. Okay? Why? Because human beings act the same. When you're happy, you smile. When you're sad, you cry. Now, the people that are happy and can't smile and the people that are sad and can't cry, there's usually a medical reason for that or a mental reason for that. Yet you are conditioned to believe that everybody acts differently when they grieve, and that's just not a true fact. So I like to educate my audience on true facts. And the bottom line is humans act a lot the same. That's why you could be in China, not understand a damn thing coming out of somebody's mouth, but see a smile on their face and know that person is happy. Okay? So there's pudding, okay? Proof, meat, pudding.
Jack and bring them back home to me.
You still trust in the process?
That's all I have.
No, it's not. You haven't done a damn thing, lady.
So why now? Why speak out now?
Yeah, 15 months now. Why?
I just feel
That you look like shit?
I need to continue keeping their faces out there.
But 15 months ago, it wasn't a concern.
If they see me on TV...
Oh, maybe they'll think they actually have a mom that gives a shit about them? But the 15 months before, you guys weren't worth it? Is that the message you want to give your kids? Okay.
They'll recognize me and...
They'll recognize me?
Maybe.
I'm sorry. That's not even funny. You've been gone so long out of their life that you're concerned about them not recognizing you, you piece of... I know. That's why I said you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it.
When you think of them today, where do you envision they are? Or do you?
They're being well looked after, and they're together.
She knows they're dead. Look at her face. She can't even...
That's all a mother could hope.
You can't even hope because you know your kids are dead.
What keeps you up at night?
Just not being able to tuck them in at night and give them a hug and kiss and read them a story. It's sleep beside them.
She made terrible mistakes, and she is regretting her decisions.
I miss them a lot.
I bet you do.
I look at their pictures on my...
She has to sit there and reconcile how she could do this to her children. How she could do this to her children and keep doing it.
my fridge and all over my walls, and I break down in tears because I miss them so much.
Well, I guess you shouldn't have hurt them. You should have protected them.
Home.
They're never coming home, and she knows it.
On Canada Day, you recently walked in a parade, and there was a float for Jack and Lilly, and you had some of their items that you made for them, keychains with their pictures on them, handing them out to the crowd. What was that like for you?
This is a push from her friends. This ain't her push. Her friends are trying to make her look innocent, even though I don't believe her friends believe she's innocent in all this. Because I'd have to believe her friends are complete utter idiots. And I don't take them as complete utter idiots.
It was very emotional. And
let me guess, she was riding in the plane instead of walking? I don't know. Did we see her walking? Let's go back to the... Did we see her walking? Oops. Oops! Did I do that? I did do that. Okay, let's try to bring it back. Do we see her walking? I don't see her. Where is she? Like, there's her friend. There's their other friend. Where is she? Is she on the back of the truck or in the truck? Where is she? I don't see her. Oh, is that her? There she is. There she is. Look at her face. There she is. Right there. Lilly and Jack. No photos. Not one photo of them on these flyers. Interesting. Interesting. All right, I just wanted to see. Okay.
And there was a float for Jack and Lilly, and you had some of their items that you made for them, keychains with their pictures on them, handing them out to the crowd. What was that like for you?
There she is.
It was very emotional. And I just kept walking forward and kept my head straight.
Oh, yeah, because you just kept it straight.
Because I was doing it for them, to bring awareness to them.
Just kept it straight. Didn't want to look at anybody in her eyes. This lady has got guilt all over her. This did not help her case. This was a terrible idea. This was a terrible idea. This was a terrible idea. She looks...
To keep their faces out.
She looks guilty as all get out.
It was a very large crowd, and that's not something I would normally do. But I did it for them.
Oh my God, I wouldn't do it. Look at me. I'm such a wonderful mom. I would never do this because I don't like big crowds, but I did it. I did it for them. For them. I haven't been around for 15 months, but by God, I got into a parade and I didn't look at anybody. I just kept my head straight and just walked. I did it for them, damn it. I did it for them. Okay, yeah, we believe it. Anyways, let's keep going.
That was a big step.
This did not
after
do well for
remaining, quiet and not in the public for a long time. What was the reception like from the crowd?
I'm at the point now where I can't worry about what people think of me, because people who are close...
The people that are close, I've already manipulated them. Like my two friends that I threw away like they were garbage, after the children disappeared, they realized I was living in squalor. They kind of took me under their wing to protect me. Yeah. Mind you, I just want to remind her friends, there are 2 young children missing. And this lady right here is not being truthful. So every time you enable her, I'm going to tell you, Cheryl, you got blood on your hands too. And we're going to hold you accountable to that. We will hold you accountable. Social media will hold both of you ladies accountable. we know that this lady right here is not being truthful. And so do you. She's your best friend. You know damn well more than anybody else that this lady here is lying through her blessed teeth. And you're sitting right there by her side. How is this helping? Cheryl?
And know me. Know that I would never do anything to my
Bullshit.
children. And that I love them very much.
She looks upset, but where's the tears?
And I understand you've also been taking part in other searches for other missing people. One just recently as well.
She took part in searches for other missing people? She never even searched for her own freaking kids. You've got to be freaking kidding me. Are you kidding me here? You have to be kidding me. She never even got her ass up off the couch to search for her own kids. This is making me sick to my stomach.
As well, here in Nova Scotia. Why do you do that?
Because I feel very helpless right now.
I didn't search for my kids.
Without having
But you got time for
answers,
somebody
I know
else's. You
what's the next step to do?
Mm.
And so helping others is basically all I feel I can do.
And I know that you
maybe fight for your own children. Maybe, I don't know, tell us the truth.
You've said you do your best to drown out the noise and not pay attention to it. But we know there's been a lot of public skepticism and criticism.
And there's going to be 10
What's that
times
been
more.
like for you to deal with on top of everything else?
I don't like the negative attention and the made-up stories that...
But you definitely hate me because I'd be screaming baby murderer every time you walk by. I mean, just whether you did it or not, that's what would be coming out of my mouth. You better be glad I'm not in Canada because I guarantee you, I'd probably be there with a bullhorn calling you a baby murderer.
are taking from the case because no one has answers. So it seems like they're making up answers for clicks and views, which is...
Love that line. That
so
line's getting
disheartening
old. Isn't that
because
line?
these are
Isn't
my
that line?
babies.
How many people are getting sick and tired of every time people don't like the news, the real news? They all they have to do is say, "Oh my God, they're just making up stuff for clicks and views, clicks and views, clicks and views." So law enforcement, I'm glad you guys made this horrible new statement of clicks and views, which is not true. And I can't wait. Now I'm going to sue every freaking sheriff across this country that steps on my toes from this point forward, just to push back. Because I'm getting sick and tired of this. Okay, now you got criminals, people that most likely murdered their own children, some way, somehow, and you got them saying the same damn thing about us because we're holding them accountable? I can tell you, I get clicks and views whether I talk about your case or not, boo. So, at the end of the day, we're here trying to find out what happened to two beautiful children, and we have a mother that disappeared for 15 blessed months, and now all of a sudden comes back and wants to say, well, they're all lying. It's just there for their clicks and views. Oh, no, baby. Oh, no. You don't get to do that. You don't get to pull that card. You haven't earned it.
And these people are taking away from the case and causing distractions.
Oh, like the distraction of a mother disappearing for 15 months. Like I literally have. Do you guys know I have a missing person flyer for this lady? I do. I have it right in there, right in the file. Let me find it. It was almost at the very top of my images. Let me go back to the top of my images because I remember seeing it right there at the top when I was searching for the timeline. Let me go back to their case. I remember it being right there at the top when I was searching for their timeline. Let me go to Lilly and Jack. Let me show you guys my missing person flyer. We had a missing person flyer for this piece of garbage right here. Oh, yes, we did. Oh, yes, we did. Didn't know where the hell she was. Why? Because she was MIA. MIA. Where is it? Where is my photo? Let me put this in it. Yeah. Is that it? Oh, it's right here at the end, at the front. Let's open with. Oh my gosh, this is let me turn this into an image. Can I turn this into an image? Word word to image. Let's do word to image. Give me just a second. I'm going to do word to image. Word. I know I've got it, but it's right there, so I might as well just convert it. It'll be a lot easier for me to convert this to word to image than it is for anything else from device. Gonna take a moment. Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Let's put this in kind. There we are. Lilly and Jack Sullivan. You guys gotta see this. Why do we have all these computers and none of them? This is probably going to be awful when it's converted, but that's okay. I can't find the original I did, so I'm kind of converting a Word document that looks like it put the G on the second line. So it's converting now. It's converting now. So when it's done, oh, looks like I can download, save to device. So now I can save it to device. There it is. Now we can open it. Hold on. There we go. we put out a missing person flyer for her. I mean, you guys think it's funny. Last seen May 3rd, 2025. I mean, we literally put out a missing person flyer for her. We did. We knew she was hiding. So it wasn't like we were putting this out because we were concerned about her well-being. It was because she was MIA. She's a missing mom of missing children. You know? So we literally made a missing person flyer for her. This lady right here. Oh my gosh. No, this is just for clicks and views. I'm a mom of 2 missing children and chose to leave within 30 hours of me reporting them missing and never returning again. And literally having to have RCMP hunt me down like a rabid dog to take my child away from me because I took off with my baby girl. Like, she took off. She intentionally, willfully took off. She didn't want them taking Meadow from her. So the reason why she took off is because she wanted to kidnap her youngest daughter. She thought she was going to be able to keep her youngest daughter. Get rid of her 2 oldest and keep her youngest.
And I don't know whether it's purposely or unintentionally, but it's not okay. These are my babies and they need to come home.
Do they? Now it's time for them to come home.
And how are you
Not
doing
a year
now
ago, but now.
compared to even a year ago?
The trauma is still the same.
Oh, the trauma's still the same. Okay.
I can't sleep without my medication, so
So is some of that medication is it because you can't get the thought of what you did to your children out of your mind? Or is it medication because you're a drug addict and it's like Suboxone or something like that you need to, keep the urges at bay? You know, what kind of medication are we talking about here?
extremely hard.
Your life completely changed that day.
Yeah. No parent should ever have to go through what I'm going through, and I would never wish it upon anyone. It's unbearable, and I don't think I'd be able to get through it without the support that I have in my family.
Tell me what they've been doing for you.
The RCMP needs to arrest
Really,
this
how
lady.
they've come through for you.
We help each other, and we always stand by each other no matter what.
I bet you do.
Keep each other busy.
When you say that you wouldn't wish this upon anyone, and we know that I've read the comments myself online, mothers who are judging you as a mother, what do you say to those people?
Hug your children tight, because
You might become a drug addict and do something bad to them.
this could happen to anyone, and
No, it can't. No, it
you
can't.
just can't
This
point
was preventable.
fingers. I feel
What do you expect when you have 3 children and you're sleeping till 10 o'clock in the morning? Like, it seems like they were so messed up in the head, they didn't want to wait for the bus, so they called these kids in as missing so they could go back to bed and not have to be parents.
They don't understand the situation entirely.
Yeah, we understand it very clearly.
So they just go off what's being put out there.
No, we don't.
And I guess they could say all the cruel things that they want. At the end of the day, I know that I'm a good mom and I love my children very, very much.
That's why you had to choke on that. She choked on that. I'm a good mother and I love my children very much.
I'd give anything to just hold them right now.
I bet you would.
Malaya, what would you like the public to know? If there was anything you could say.
I want them to continue keeping my children's faces out there, keep reposting, just help scream their names to help bring them home.
Scream their names because I can't and haven't and refuse to.
That I believe that they're out there somewhere and they will be returned home.
Baby, they're only going to be returned home when you break your silence. When you break your silence. I had a lot more to go on for this, but we're not going to do it this morning. We'll catch it back up. We're going to move over to Miss Nancy Guthrie. I wanted you guys to hear that. What do you guys think so far about that? Do you believe that she's being truthful or forthcoming, or do you not believe it at all? Because I kind of just don't believe it. And tomorrow morning we're going to go over the same story, but we're going to get kind of to Daniel Martel's side of the story. This is the other person. Many of you, this is the first time that you guys have seen this particular case, so we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to digest it. So we have a 4 and a 6-year-old that have been missing for over a year, and that was their mother. That was the first time their mother sat down for an actual interview, the first time in 15 months, because the first interview I showed you was just a minute. She refused to even really talk more about it, just complaining that there was no Amber Alert, and that she doesn't even basically believe that they were kidnapped, but now all of a sudden she does. So it's funny how her statements change. I wonder if RCMP are planning on arresting either one anytime soon, because if they're only going to be focusing on Daniel Martel, they're sorely mistaken, because this lady right here needs to have some major scrutiny to her, and I'm sick of this playing around, dicking around. I'm in emotional support, trauma, therapy, and I'm doing art now, and just really trying. Listen. We don't give a rat's ass. The only thing we care about is these 2 beautiful babies' faces above her head. So RCMP, why don't we do this? Why don't we start telling you guys to start taking the stick out of your butts and start doing something? Because this lady right here just lied through her teeth. Everybody in America and Canada can see that. She lied through her teeth. So what the hell are you guys going to do about it? She knows what happened to these young kids. You know it. We know it. I know it. We all know it. What are you going to do about it, RCMP? We're ready for the arrest. Enough time has lapsed. Enough time has lapsed. Both parents deserve to be put in jail. They both endangered these children. At the end of the day, there's enough evidence, once again, for endangerment charges. There's enough evidence for endangerment charges in Sebastian Rogers' case that they refused to bring. There's enough, which now the statutes of limitations have run out in Summer Wells, but they had enough in Summer Wells' case as well, and they have enough in this case for endangerment and negligent charges for these parents. Yet we have law enforcement bodies that don't really give a shit about enforcing the law if they can't get the big case, right? I'm all about, if we can get them in jail, if we can get them in the system with the lower level stuff, let's go ahead and get it done. That'll at least get them on probation and keep them within our grasps. That's what we want. So law enforcement needs to start doing law enforcement jobs, and law enforcement arrests criminals. This lady's a criminal. She put her children in danger. How do you know they're in danger? The condition of this house shows all that you need to know to arrest this lady for endangerment. Just like in Summer Wells' case. just like in Sebastian Rogers' case, except the condition of his house was much better, but the abuse was still there and prevalent. So they're not willing to do it. So this is a law enforcement issue. This is not a we can't find them issue. This is a law enforcement not doing what law enforcement should be doing, and that's arresting these people and throwing them in jail. Unfortunately, Canada is a more liberal country. Okay, so that basically means you can go and slice and dice somebody up, and they'll let you out by 5 o'clock to go slice and dice somebody else up until they get sick and tired of you slicing and dicing. And maybe in a month of you slicing and dicing people, you might be before a judge that might actually throw you in jail. But they don't even throw you in jail anymore. Even when you're slicing and dicing people, they just give you a bond and let you start bonding out so you can slice and dice people. If you're going to be slicing and dicing people, they want to be paid their ponied up, their silver in order for you to slice and dice on people. I'm so sick and tired of the liberal policies that are putting so many people in jeopardy and in danger, and it's happening all over this world. But we live in the United States of America, and hopefully we're trying to get some of this stuff nipped in the bud. But Canada, we're never going to be able to. These parents deserve to be in prison. They deserve to be in prison right now, yet they've spent 15 months living out there, living their life, being able to sleep in their bed, being able to eat whatever they want to, being able to drink, drug, have sex, just a lot of different things they're able to do while their children are missing and most likely and deceased. We've already got confirmation from law enforcement that they're dead. So these kids are dead. This lady's kids are dead. This idea that they're going to come back to her healthy is a pipe dream. She knows it. We know it. Even law enforcement knows it. All right, we're going to go move on over to Pima County, Arizona. This is the case of Miss Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old grandmother, ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night by a masked gunman, never to be seen again after January 31st when she was dropped off at her home by her older daughter's husband, Tommaso Cioni, which many people put under the gun and scrutinized heavily as possibly being involved in her abduction. A lot has come out since then. There's been a few people that have been arrested or detained, I guess would be more appropriate statement to make, that they were detained, they had search warrants, they had their cars impounded, they had their houses searched, their persons searched, fingerprints done. We don't know if DNA was done. We don't know if they were interrogated or what type of questions that they had. But every time we come here, we realize that there is something related to this drawing right here. This drawing is from a well-known, if I'm not mistaken, she's in the Guinness Book of World Records for helping solve the most crimes through her sketches. So she has been well known around this country, Lois Gibson, as being this forensic artist that's been able to take people under masks and other things like what we have in the Nancy Guthrie case and be able to give a face to those people that were not really known, right? Because they're covered up. And one of the things that we noticed early on in this investigation is how incredibly familiar this face looked. It looked like Carlos. Yet we're spending a lot of time talking about Luke Daly and Luke Daly's problems, even going through his trafficking issues that he has that are coming up to court, where he's going to be spending a lot of time most likely in prison because they were with trafficking amounts. He had a firearm with a magazine, a loaded magazine in his vehicle, and both people in that vehicle were felons with 1,000 M30 pharmaceutical pills, hypodermic needles, brown tarry-like substance, spoons, paraphernalia of a very specific variety of substance. And this has been a problem that we've had, because these are serious charges. This is a man that has a serious drug problem, and it looks like they're in trafficking amounts of narcotics that were found on his persons or in his vehicle with this Kayla Day, his girlfriend. And they believe that they were conspiring with each other for the distribution of these narcotics. And so when they were pulled over, they were both arrested and both charged with the same exact charges. The, wanting to distribute the narcotics in their vehicle. Two different paraphernalia charges. Both were had two different separate gun charges, felony gun charges. So there were a lot of stuff. And then we had the receipts from a 2022 case where the mom is getting all these firearms, requested all these firearms from the courts and received them. So now we know that Luke Daly does have access to firearms, because as you see, the assailant down here has a firearm tucked in his waistband in a holster that does not go for that firearm. But we've spent a lot of time on why Luke Daly would be good for this. And again, once again, as I've told you before, very rarely is anybody really looking at Carlos, even though Carlos resembles this person a hell of a lot more than anybody else. And people are screaming Carlos is innocent. I'm about to blow your mind. I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, one thing that's very noticeable on Luke Daly, okay? Do you guys know what's really noticeable for Luke Daly? His eyes. His eye color is not brown or black. His eye colors are a lighter color. Now, are they blue, green, gray? I'm not sure what his true eye color is, but he has a lighter eye color. And when we really do look at the features, like right above here, we're seeing a darker colored eye, okay? We're seeing a darker colored eye, not a light color, right? We're seeing dark, not light. And I believe we would be able to see the light color of his eyes stand out more sharply with the dark colors of the pupil if this person had light colored eyes. Did you see the guy who buried his parents in the backyard and fled to Germany in Tucson? Yeah, I heard about that. I still don't know if the woman drew it after Carlos was detained. I believe she did. But, again, she's a professional. She's done this all. She's, again, a Guinness Book of World Record holder. She used to work for Houston Police or Sheriff's Department and has cleared 1,200 cases. So I don't think she's going to look at an image and then craft something from that. And if she did, she would have probably made it more like him instead of the image she put up. But there's something a little more with this that I think you guys are going to understand. We'll get into that in just a second. Is it this one? It is this one. I see Carlos. We finally have a cleared up image of the assailant. And I feel like these eyes are more indicative of Carlos. So here's the original. There's the original. That's why I think there are so many people going after Carlos. Is because I truly believe the person underneath that mask has more features similar to Carlos. Now, I'm not saying Carlos did it. Is there people with his features? There's probably a dime a dozen. I mean, I bet you there's probably multiple people with features like Carlos out there. And his was a little questionable. I think that we can all conclude his search and seizure and warrant was a little bit different than Luke's, which is pretty interesting because Luke's was a federal warrant. That means the feds got it. And this one for Carlos from my understanding, was done by Pima County. So we have two people detained within days of each other. One is being detained by one type of warrant, while the other is being detained by another type of warrant. What about the family member of Carlos? That's where I'm going with it. You know, there is something, in my opinion, that led these people to Carlos's front door. Yet Carlos, I think we all noticed, seemed, I mean, unless he's a really good liar, which we have some very good, convincing, conniving, cunning people in our society. So there is a possibility of somebody bamboozling even the most stringent, scrutinizing person, right? But I think we all, like, his natural conversation with the camera seems so authentic. I think so many of us believed that Carlos didn't have anything to do with this. I think his demeanor was truly authentic, and I think that's why many of us never went down the trail of, Carlos being the guy. But we cannot dismiss how many facial features are indicative of Carlos in the drawing. And more so when people start clearing up the image and using different things. Now, granted, they did have the piece there. They removed the piece to give you more of an image across, which I'm not sure if that necessarily was the best strategy. I like things kind of staying more the same so we can see it as the same. But whenever you look at this, like this, you see Carlos. You don't see Luke. You see Carlos. And see the eyes? If these were a lighter color, when we had the circle from the assailant, that circle, let me see, do I still have that up here somewhere? Do we still have that? We do have this. We do have this one, right? So when we're looking at this is the one that was cleared up. They moved that. You can see that the darkness, it's dark around the circles. It's not lighter. It's, let me pull this down just a tad. It's darker. So when you scroll in on the eyes, you would expect there to be a difference in color, from the black to like a blue or a green or a gray. You would see that a lot clearer even in the black and white image. It's not going to give you the black pupil and a black, color. That tells me that color around the eye would most likely be brown or a darker color eye color. I see Annie without her glasses. Mr. Cranky says, I don't. Not at all. Not at all. Because I see, whenever I see these things, I see a Hispanic male. I see a Hispanic male. I found this interesting. This one little conversation right here interesting. Let me put this back up on this side. I think I like this side better. Yeah, there we go. Let me move this up just a tad. Just a tad. There we go. So this is from somebody, it's from a female because it says Miss, and they're responding to somebody's conversation, including Pima County Sheriff, and it says, I'm a taxpayer in the county. You don't understand the level of resources devoted to the Guthrie case, to the exclusion of everything and everyone else. I don't object to anything spent before the February 6th note in which the kidnappers tell the family Nancy had inadvertently died. Sheriff Nanos gives an interview on February 7th saying he has no reason to believe that Nancy is dead. He knew she was dead. Nanos kept up the pretense because it kept him in the national spotlight, not because he cared about finding Nancy Guthrie. I also know Savannah. Everyone feels terrible about what happened, but that doesn't justify draining $3 million of your county budget over a charade when the FBI offered all resources on day one. The case should have been turned over to the FBI as soon as the February 6th note was received. I actually think the FBI should have taken the lead on day one. Pima County Sheriff's Department was not capable of solving the case, and Nanos has a personal beef with FBI. It was Nano's feud with the FBI that kept the FBI out of the case. If you want to call someone sick, aim your air at the Sheriff Nanos, who put his own self-interest and feud with the FBI ahead of finding Nancy Guthrie and the people responsible for her death. Now it's been 6 months later. Nanos still controls the case, and it has not turned over to the FBI, and Pima County doesn't know anything more than they did on February 6th. If someone kidnapped me, the last people I want handling the case is the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Wow. Wow. I'm there with you, babe. I don't know what else to say. I don't think anybody could have said this better than that. No matter what, we never leave a man behind. So in all fairness, whether it's 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, we still spend the money to find the people. But the point she's trying to make is that you're right, but this should have been handled by the feds. It wouldn't have drained the local county budget of $3 million. It would have drained all of us, right? And it wouldn't even have drained us, because it's like what we do here on these social media platforms daily, right? We come here and we crowdfund. We crowdfund information. We crowdfund resources. We crowdfund money. We crowdfund, right? And that's basically what the federal government is. It's the first crowdfunding source we've ever invented in the United States of America, right? Where everybody from every state kind of contributes to this pot. So if anything happened, we'd have a safety net. We'd have the federal government to come in and save us. And that's what we've always done. That's why we pay federal government's money. That's why we all pay our fair share to the federal government, to make sure that we have resources when we need the resources. But it's crowdfunding versus one person, or in this situation, a county, having to hold the bag of all of this money. When do they have the resources? Do they have the $3 million? If they have 1 million people, their budget's probably $2 or $3 billion. Okay, their sheriff's budget is probably a $500 million budget that he has every single year, or something to that case. So do they have $3 million to spend on this? Yes, they do, but it has to be taken from somewhere else, right? Because when you budget things, you've already got the money spent for that year. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's the whole purpose of budgeting, right? You're looking into the future, seeing what all your bills are, and seeing what all the money you have, and figuring out how all your money is going to be spent and what's left over. And then you've got to try to decide what you're planning on doing with that overage. Are you going to be returning it as a refund to your people, or are you going to be putting it in a silo for reserves, or are you going to be spending it on equipment that you need to upgrade? So those are the things that you're talking about ahead of the spending. You're like, governments work a little bit differently than we do. Like, every month we kind of get our money, we see where it's all going to be divided, how it's going to be spent, and whatever's left over at the end of the month, we probably take and do something nice for ourselves, right? Well, it's much different than that in the county, because they already know how much money they're going to spend. And now they already know preemptively, before it even gets to the end of the month, how much money they have left over, or before it ever gets to the end of the year, how much money they're going to have left over. And they've already decided at the beginning of the year how they're going to spend that additional money. So again, if there is things that rock the boat, like a major viral case that takes $3 million out of your coffers, well, you've got to give something up to find money to pull that $3 million back, right? And it's always going to be something that because they always want to make sure that the public has to feel it, so they can have a reason to increase their taxes. So it's going to make sure that whatever has got to be cut, it's going to be something that the public is going to feel versus the county. But yes, in a sense, no matter what, this was $3 million that could have been spent by the federal government instead of Chris Nanos and Pima County Sheriff. And that even goes into their lab. Remember, Chris Nanos spent over $200,000 of their money for these labs, when he could have sent it to Quantico, and those fees would have been free. We would have used the federals. We don't charge counties to use our federal stuff, our federal labs. So when we're a resource. Now, if they have to use it for something else and they're not involved and they just want to use it, they may have to pay, the federal government for the use of that. But in a case like this, they did not. So I found that very interesting. And this comes back to the story. We've only had one friend come out and speak anonymously about their friend Nancy Guthrie. We don't know who her friend is, okay? We don't know which friend it was that spoke. We just know that according to this friend that's been kept anonymous, she's heartbroken. She lives in the area, and what she can tell us is that they're not going very far. Tucson appreciates your attention to this case. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jumpus. Jump AZ, I think is probably the right name than Jump Arizona. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you'd like some, actually, I'll read you some. Actually, we'll get to the cards here in just a second. I'm going to read you some cards because that means we have a reason for cards. But a friend has reached out, and while she's not directly involved, probably an elderly lady, she's probably not directly involved with the investigation, but they're hearing little bits and pieces. And from what she had released about this is that her friend she's heartbroken over her friend, and she doesn't feel like this case is any further along than it should be. I truly believe a lot of time was lost. I think a lot of mistakes were had, and I don't think anybody's willing to acknowledge those mistakes or take ownership of those mistakes. Everybody's just trying to pass the buck and point the finger at some other direction and blame somebody else for the abysmal failure of this case, the abysmal and public failure of this case. It's only been 6 months, and I know people are going to kind of, roll their eyes at me saying it's only been 6 months, but in all fairness, when we get to a case that's like this, it's a little more difficult. I think we would have been further along if there wasn't so many mishaps at the beginning, which there's no way to fix that. But in the grand scheme of things, most of our cases are not solved right away. When they get to this point when balls are dropped, like in the Sebastian, they got to basically build the case before they'll arrest anybody at that point. I really have a low opinion of Sumner County. I have a low opinion of Pima County, not the people, not necessarily the people. In Sumner County, it's the people. I can't stand, like Sumner County, they have some beautiful people in there, and they've got a lot of nice people. Don't misunderstand me. And there's a lot of great people that come out, and it's not enough. It's not enough. They have 250,000 people in that community, and you can't even get a ride. Like, they've got corruption all over the place, and everybody is just sitting there and just like, oh my gosh, we got to listen to them, and we got to listen to that. Nobody is taking into consideration how poorly they're being treated, how poorly people are being treated in that community, and the fact that we have a missing boy that nobody seems to give a shit about. And I just can't for the life of me I love people, but people sometimes make me very angry. And you know what makes me more angry than not is fake Christians. People that just literally go to church because that's what they've always done their entire life. They don't even listen to the sermon anymore. They act like they do, but they're not listening. They're not getting the message. Like, you are a Bible thumping community of Sumner County. And none of you guys are demanding answers about a missing child in your community. Like, I don't want to be associated with a community that's that dark. And then sits there and toots their own horn and says, but I go to church. But you're not listening. You know how I know you're not listening? Because you got a missing boy in your community and nobody is saying squat about it. And I know that the Lord speaks something completely different than that. I know that for a fact. It's our responsibility as humans. It's our responsibility as Christians. It's our responsibility as anybody to make sure that we're advocating for a child or somebody that's disadvantaged, like an elderly person. Right? And it's heartbreaking when we get to certain areas and there's still no justice. In this case, it was obvious of all the mistakes made. In Sumner County, it was obvious of all the mistakes made. They will not listen. You cannot take a sheriff, a voted sheriff, and talk common sense into them. You just can't. They either got it or they don't. And I can tell you 3 sheriffs that I've met in my life that do not have it. Ronnie Lawson, Eric Craddock, and Chris Nanos. There's more. But those are the ones I've personally met. I personally know. Miss Guthrie has been missing. Her family doesn't know where she's at. Her friends are nervous as all get out because the case has not progressed. It has fallen flat. And then we have this guy that looks more like Carlos than anybody else. And we've got Carlos screaming from the rooftops that it's not him. And his expression and opinions on everything were much different and much more realistic and believable than anybody else in this case. So is he a good liar? Or does his genes, his facial construction, is it a defining feature in his family? And just like somebody else in the chat had asked, could it be somebody else in his family? Is that why law enforcement wound up on his door? It's a legitimate question. Thank you, Tammy, for becoming the newest member of this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. The Z, up. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and jump a Z. We're going to give you some cards. What cards are we going to give you? We're going to give you affirmations of a badass. This was our original deck of cards, but we've gotten away from it. I forgot what it is to be a badass. And you know what? I think somebody in this chat needs to be a badass. So we're going to give 5 cards. We're going to give 5 cards of the affirmations of a badass. So this one just fell out, so that one's going to stay. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see what we got on our deck. What we got. Affirmations of a badass. Ooh, I see a cuss word. Cover your ears. Happiness is a choice, and today I choose to be over the blessed top happy. Does it say? I'm not a sunrise, I'm the blessed sun. Woohoo! Once you fall in love with yourself, their game is over. I can sit with really blessed big feelings and I'm still okay. When I say blessed, it's cuss words. The F-bomb. You will get there. You're going to do great today. So there you are. Affirmations of a badass, because we're all a little bit mad and a little bit bad. All right. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Okay. So what do you guys think? Carlos? Not Carlos? Somebody that looks like Carlos? Is he a manipulator? Is he conniving? Is he this cunning? Where he can go and gank this lady up out of her bed and then go and stick his face in front of a camera and look all innocent and say, I don't know why they picked me. I don't know what I did. I'm just a delivery guy. Needed my son. That's flocking affirmation. We need some flocking cards. Oh, dear goodness. Is this the one? No, I don't know what this one is. That must have been some research stuff, because that's not on anything specific. And I think that's it. I think we made it. Ooh, we made it under 3 hours. That's good. So I think that's it. I think that's all we have, folks. It's the Carlos thing. Now we're going to start diving into Carlos a little bit. I mean, he is suing Pima County Sheriff for being, brought into this, and we've never even looked at him. So I'm figuring if the people of Pima County is about to pay millions of dollars because they all pointed the finger at this guy, we might as well look into him. I'm just saying, he put himself out there. He just did another interview saying, I'm not guilty. Okay, well, let's challenge that, because I'm telling you, this right here, it's got me saying, no, not so fast. Not so fast. What do we have here? Is it me? Is my eyes fooling me? Are my eyes fooling me? I would like to know what you got. No way Carlos is scared of his mom. He wasn't taking Nancy. Oh, good gracious. So who is the guy? Guys, who is this? Somebody, you know who this is. And we thought it was a full little, like a full goatee. Look at this. It's not a full goatee. It's just a little smidgen here. It's just a little dust. He's got a little dust up right here. This is nice and thick. No grays. I see no grays. No grays. He looks young. Look at those eyes. Those are baby. He's got a baby face. This is a young dude. Remember that one guy? They had a sketch of him. Remember we talked about that? And he looked like a teenager. And he was in a mask. They never found him, and he murdered 2 people. Hey, handsome man. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. Huh. And I said, oh, this guy would be older now. And he would be about 35. He would be up 35, 40 at this point. Because that was like 25 years ago, and he looked like a teenager. So it makes me wonder. Makes me wonder, who is this? This is the porch guy, folks. This is the porch guy. Oh, Tammy. Tammy gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. Jump AZ. You know what, Captain Avio? Are you sure you signed up to be on gift members? You have to hit a button to make sure that you're gifted, because she should have been gifted by now. Jump AZ, Kelly, Stephanie, it's nice to see you, Amy, and Jamie Sue. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Am I single? Well, if you've been watching the Bullhorn Betty channel, you should know the answer to that. You should know the answer to that. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Good afternoon or good morning. We're going to be here this afternoon. I don't know what the topic of our conversation is going to be this afternoon. I think we might be talking a little more about Lilly and Jack Sullivan, because Abdullah, to me, oh, that's the family. Night Persian. Maybe. I did want to give you guys an update on another side note. This doesn't have to do with true crime, but I know you guys are concerned, and it comes down to the handsome man's question. He won't understand what it means, but the cantaloupe, it's finally starting to get the crust on the outside. You know, that texture. Like, it's so interesting watching this. So I'm going to tell you guys, like, the history of this cantaloupe. It's hairy, okay? It's a hairy ball when it starts. It's got fuzz all over it. I don't know how to say it. It's a hairy ball, okay? I don't know what else to say than that. It's a hairy ball. And then the hair kind of goes away, right? And then it's like a smooth surface, and it almost looks like when you look at it, it almost looks like it wants to be a watermelon. Like, you can almost see these these green little, wavy lines in it. And then all of a sudden you start seeing these weird little lines, like these little rough lines starting to like little veins starting to form on the outside of the cantaloupe. So now the hair is all gone, but now you're starting to feel the roughness on the outside. You know how the cantaloupe is really rough whenever you buy it from the store? Well, it's not like that. It's actually it's very heavy, but it's very, very soft. And so, Donna, thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. So the cantaloupe looks good. I don't know when I'm supposed to pull it, though. I'm researching that now. I know that right now it's way too ripe because it hasn't even formulated the dark brown on the outside yet. It's still green, and and it looks like little veins through it, but it's not. It's the knotty little hard, like the brown stuff on the outside of the cantaloupe that's starting to form. So now it's starting to get a little more rough on the outside. But it just watching this was, I don't know. It's been quite the experiment. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll be back later this afternoon. What time we're going to be back? Again, the afternoon is always up for debate. I don't have a specific time that is our home. 8 o'clock every morning, we're here. Rain or shine, 8 a.m., you turn your channel on, come to the Bullhorn Betty show. We have a show, 8 a.m. every morning. It's standard operating procedures. We turn the lights on. We've changed the times. I used to roll like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. A lot of people were, believe it or not, you wouldn't believe. We had a lot of people going live that early. I remember I'd be on live from like 4 a.m. to like 10 a.m. We'd be on there for 5 hours, and I'd carry 1,000 people in that chat. For that 5 hours. I mean, it's insane how many people are actually up that time of morning. But, as we started, because my time, I started getting off, like I would get sleep and then I wouldn't get sleep and I'd have like insomniac issues and not. So I found that 8 a.m., no matter what type of night I have, 8 a.m., we can always roll with the show. So 8 a.m. is truly the home for the Bullhorn Betty show. Our afternoon show, I've not found the committed time that I can commit every single day to a specific time. But 8 a.m. is our specific time here on the show, with the exception of county. When I go work on the county stuff, we push our show to like 6 a.m. And those days are, as you can see, the numbers are definitely different from the times I push my show earlier to the times that we have 8 a.m. So people are just comfortable with us at 8 a.m. We love the 8 a.m. time slots. So just remember, every day, Monday through Sunday, we are here 8 a.m. in the morning. So the afternoon, though, we'll find a home where, we're comfortable with. And that's going to be until I get back on the road. Once we're out of all this court shit and I'm back out on the road, we're going to be on the road. We'll be live from the scenes of crimes. We're not going to be in the studio. And that's why I hated paying for StreamYard, because back then I was paying a lot of money for StreamYard and I was never in the studio. I was always out in the field. Now we're always in the studio, I like it and I don't like it. Like, I feel like we have more tailored content when we're in the studio. And you just never know, but I love searching. And that's really for me, the thing that I'm passionate about. It's not just telling these stories, it's being out there. It's it's clearing areas. It's being out there in the field. And it's not just even being in front of these people's houses. That's not even the thing that interests me. I mean, yeah, I'd like to report from the scene of the crime, but it's not that. It's the searching. It's the being involved in. It's the wanting to help and wanting to, and showing up and being there. And that's really what I love about my job. But that's what I've been missing for 2 years. So as soon as we can get back out in the field full time, we're going to be on the road. We're going to be on the road a lot, which is one of the reasons why I want to sell this house. I want to be closer to, the exit out of Florida, because all of our cases are mostly out of Florida. So I want to be kind of closer to, up there, and then I'll be closer to Tallahassee. So I can make more Florida type of decisions and avocations versus just county. So it's all going to work out. In the next 2 years, we're not going to be shooting from this studio anymore. We're going to be from a studio either in Tallahassee or in Live Oak or in Ocala or in Beverly Hills. We're going to be in one of those, Inverness. I might even decide to go middle of the road and maybe go up to Kissimmee or Orlando, where there's a cheaper airport that I can fly out of. That would probably be someplace that I might entertain going to. And there's a place in the middle of Florida that could use a Bullhorn Betty in their politics, I can tell you that. So either way, I don't know what I'm going to be doing here, but I'm packing up the house now. I'm in the process of packing up the house now. I'm not, even though it's going to be 2 years, there's still repairs that need to be had on this house. So once I get everything into a storage unit, I'll see what's still left here that needs to be done and start working on that and get this house ready to get on the market. So we've got a lot of stuff going on in the next year, and it's a lot of exciting stuff, a lot of growth for our channel, a lot of growth for me personally. So I'm really excited for this next chapter. So we'll just keep moving it along. Anyways, guys, don't forget to hit up the Bullhorn Betty Substacks. I just put out a new article this morning. So it's for our paid subscribers. So get over there. If you're not a paid subscriber, become a paid subscriber. I put a lot of articles out for free. There are a few of them that I spend a little more time with that I put on on members only, and we're going to start rolling out members only on here as well as Facebook. So just wanted to get you guys updated on that, and we will see you guys later this afternoon. So have a great Tuesday. Tomorrow we'll be getting over the hump for our Hump Day episode of the Bullhorn Betty channel. See you guys real soon. God bless.